Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes, and it's going to be a busy weather day for Monday. We have a major storm. The storm center is huge. It's going to be in the low itself is going to be in the Great Lakes, but its circulation is going to be covering pretty much all of the eastern part of the United States, and we're going to be in the thick of it in terms of the tightest pressure gradient here. High wind warnings running up from the Delmarva Peninsula through New Jersey, southeast, a small portion of southeastern Pennsylvania, and then on up into northeast New Jersey, New York City, the Hudson Valley, and then through all of southern and central New England, including Hartford, Providence, and Boston. Wind advisories up for the middle and upper Hudson Valley, northwest New Jersey, the eastern half of Pennsylvania, and we're seeing some high wind warnings that come up for a few counties in west central PA. And then it goes back to a wind advisory in southwest PA, high wind warnings up northwest PA, and much of western and northern New York. So this is quite the storm. And in terms of the wind gusts, they are going to be substantial. I'm just going to put up 2 p.m. on Monday, because that looks to be roughly the peak time. Actually, I'll start off with 9 a.m. because already by 9 a.m. you're seeing wind gusts of 50 knots or more along the New Jersey coast, the Delaware coast, and just approaching the south shore of Long Island. Wind gusts of 40 knots or more. So we're talking about winds gusting to 45 or close to 50 miles an hour, even inland across south central Pennsylvania, down into Maryland and northeastern Virginia. But at roughly 2 p.m., so figure after 12 noon till about 3 p.m. or so, this is where we'll probably see the peak winds. And I really haven't seen it very often where we've had situations showing wind gusts of 50 knots or higher extending as far inland as it does here on the digital forecast. This is pretty crazy. And you've got winds along the coast being indicated of 57 knots, which would be roughly 65 miles an hour. I think there will be somebody's going to wind up getting hurricane force gusts out of all of this. Would not at all be a shocker. And it'll be after 5 p.m. we'll start to see the winds, and I want to emphasize, slowly starting to ease further as we go into Monday night into early Tuesday. The other issue, of course, is going to be severe weather, and we have a severe weather outbreak going on now, a serious widespread outbreak going on across the Gulf states, because you have all this warm tropical air as of 6 p.m. Eastern time. You're looking at dew points here running up into the 70s all the way north into central Mississippi, central Alabama, and into parts of Georgia. This is really juiced up air that is creating this severe weather we're seeing tonight. The Storm Prediction Center, as of 6:30 Eastern time, showing 3 working tornado watches, and we've already seen a number of tornado warnings today. One good website to use if you want to follow this is tornadohq.com. Recommend it highly. I'm waiting to see if I can get permission to actually use it on some of the live streams, but it's a great site where you can follow not only where the activity is going on, but you'll also see the actual warnings as they come up one by one. Now, as far as tomorrow is concerned, the Storm Prediction Center's latest forecast for severe weather has the slight risk pushed up into western New Jersey, into northern Pennsylvania, touching the New York state line, and you can see the enhanced risk running up into Virginia, almost but not quite into the Washington, D.C. Area. You might wind up seeing this adjusted a little bit more in one direction or another. I tend to think that the general way things have been going with this weather system is that we're adjusting everything to the upside. So it wouldn't be a shocker to me if you wind up seeing that enhanced area getting pushed further north, maybe into Maryland, maybe even as far north as southern Pennsylvania. We'll see. That's SPC's job. Meantime, you can see this storm is really beginning to organize and getting all juiced up. You can almost pick out the two distinct areas here being impacted by a strong shortwave trough that is swinging down from Canada and strengthening as it does so. We have that trough dropping in into the northern plains, and of course, we talked about this upper low that came out from California and moved eastward. So now that is sitting in the southern plains at the moment and moving east in through the Gulf states and lower Mississippi Valley. So you're getting this full phase, northern and southern parts of the jet stream just phasing together in a very, very strong way. Here's the radar view as of 6:30. Please be advised, if you're watching this on a replay, make sure you get the latest weather information for your area by going to your local National Weather Service forecast office page, weather.gov. But take a look at the thunderstorms that we're seeing here, and we've had a number of tornado warnings that have already been issued, and we're going to see this gel up even further as we go through the rest of this evening and into the first part of tonight. Meanwhile, as far as rain is concerned, this lead area is drying up fairly quickly. So it looks like we've got some time to buy, but this rain area that's in Kentucky and West Virginia and Western Virginia, I think will probably reach southern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey by about, say, 9 o'clock tonight, and then maybe making it to New York City around midnight or so. And from there, we'll go take it to southern New England sometime around 1 or 2 a.m. So the rain arrives, winds pick up overnight, and it'll be very strong tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon before things start to improve. And I'm just going to take you through a couple of models here. We're going to look at the NAM model for overnight and for the daytime on Monday. This is the latest NAM, so you can see that rain area, that rain shield is just to about Philadelphia at around 9-10 o'clock. It's at New York City at about midnight. It's in southern New England at around 2 or 3 a.m. and moving northward. And you see the yellow areas here of how the NAM sees the radar. Those are heavy rains. So there's going to be a burst of heavy rain into tomorrow morning. And that's once that first area goes by, because that's really the warm front forcing itself northward. You're going to see those winds really crank up. And then we'll swing the cold front through here during the early part of the afternoon. And this is where the NAM model develops what looks like a fairly impressive line of storms for tomorrow afternoon from western New England south into Delaware and Maryland. And usually with these situations, the weather models aren't always good with picking out or showing, depicting how the thunderstorms are going to look in the warm sector of a storm. The gradient is extremely tight, and when you take a look, I'm going to show you here, we're going to go 5,000 foot level of the atmosphere. It's not often that you see winds approaching 100 knots at that level of the atmosphere, and indeed you can see it just blows up. I mean, it's not quite there, but there are some wind barbs here of showing 80 to 90 knot winds, and there's actually 100 knot wind at the 5,000 foot level. This will mix down to the bottom of the atmosphere. We won't see 100 knot winds, but could we see winds of 55 or 60 knots, which would translate to 70 miles an hour or more? It's certainly possible, especially for places like Long Island, southern New England, and coastal New Jersey. The models are really rather bullish on this with regards to the wind. And then your low is just going to move away, and you're going to see your wind situation rapidly improve as we move into Monday night and Tuesday. One other thing to show you, and that is going into Wednesday, there is colder air behind it. And if you think about how things operate in the springtime, sometimes you get these major storms like this, and then a day or two afterward, you wind up with a situation where you see a little bit of snow. And I know it's April 15th on Wednesday, but the NAM and the GFS to a lesser extent actually showing a low developing on Monday's cold front stalling out off the southeast coast, and you get a little low that develops on it. and a stripe of wet snow on the northern fringe. And of course, this would all fall in the daytime, which means it won't stick to anything. And we're not talking about any kind of intensity, but given how strange things are these days with everything that's going on with respect to the coronavirus and being on quarantine, semi-lockdown now for the last 3 weeks and counting, if we wind up seeing a little bit of snow on Wednesday, it would certainly be par for the course. But most importantly is the situation for tonight, for later tonight, and during the day on Monday. This is going to be a rather serious situation. Don't be shocked if we wind up with the wind the way it's forecast to be. If that verifies, there will be power outages, and maybe not just scattered power outages, but possibly even some widespread power outages. So just bear that in mind. If you've got loose stuff outside, bring it in or tie it down, and just get ready for this. And we'll keep you updated, of course. Joe Rayo and I did our Joe and Joe Weather Show earlier today, so you can find that on my YouTube channel, and I have it posted on Facebook if you haven't seen it. But he and I will be getting together tomorrow and probably early in the day as this storm gets underway to keep you updated. Okay, have a great day, everybody. I know I went a little bit long, but there was a lot of information to get out there. We'll talk to you later.